some cash flow, like the banks that are collapsing. The fun thing about banks, banking systems, and money is like not a lot of people understand it. If everyone understood it, we'd all be able to get rich because these guys don't do anything. Bankers, stockbrokers, hedge funds guys, they don't do anything. They don't have a skill, a talent, or a craft, or a trade. All they know is the secrets of fucking money and markets, which is all bullshit based on supply and demand of imaginary shit. Or based on how they trump up something and make it sound like it's necessary, like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not a fucking actual thing. Neither are dollars, right? But at least dollars signify something. It's like, I'll give you this amount because it's worth that amount. There's a market. You'll get this salary because that's what the market, that's what it goes for. It's a higher skilled job, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can put a number on that. Bitcoin is just the worth is how much people want it and how much of it there is. So it's different from money. But all these banks are crashing, and I wonder how much of a role, especially with social media, all these doomsdayers have in the panic that ensues when people take their money out of banks. Because all day they're online, you know, because all these people, they're not that out there. They're not out there mining fields or making cars. They're out there all day like this, pushing keys, going, what's this market doing? Move this money over here, move this. So, and they're also on Twitter, listening to people. How much do these doomsdayers influence these people when they're like, it's going to collapse? All these people who coincidentally always own Bitcoin and have a very, very, very big monetary financial interest in the banks collapsing. And always preach it because they own Bitcoin, and that will drive the value of Bitcoin up, which coincidentally right now, as of today, is up amid these bank failures. I wonder how much they drive the market, right? Just like the gorilla fucking cartoons. That was a complete market created by, you know, people going, this is the new shit. And people are going, I guess it's the new shit. Steph Curry's got one. Mike Tyson's got one. I guess it's the new shit. But you know what happened is somebody paid Mike Tyson and Steph Curry to put that shit up to make it hot so then they could make money. Good scam, don't get me wrong, but scam nonetheless. SVP collapse was driven by the first Twitter-fueled bank run. So what they mean by that is the Silicone Valley Bank was a social media bank, right, Jess?
You got me. I'll tell you what.
Jesse, with those glasses, you're supposed to know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
No, you know what this is? It's like this is one of the good times when not having any money is because this is not my issue.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, I got no money. This is not my issue.
Yeah.
So the massive amount of customer withdrawals that led to the collapse of Silicone Valley Bank had all the hallmarks of an old-fashioned bank run, but with a new twist befitting the primary industry the bank served. Much of it unfolded online. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
Customers withdrew $42 billion in a single day last week from Silicone Valley Bank, leaving the bank with $1 billion in negative cash balance. The company said in a regulatory filing the staggering withdrawals unfolded at a speed enabled by digital banking and were likely fueled in part by a viral panic spreading on social media platforms and reportedly in private chat groups. Dude, listen. If I owned a lot of Bitcoin, if I owned a lot of crypto, I'd be on there in those chats. I'd even have moles in there. I'd be like, Joe, just spread the word. Get your money. Don't trust the dollar. It's going to collapse. Banks are going to collapse. Blah, blah, blah. Put your money in Bitcoin. It's safe. The data leading up to the bank's collapse, multiple prominent venture capitalists took to Twitter in particular and used their large platforms to raise alarms about the situation, sometimes typing in all caps. Some investors urged startups to rethink where they kept their cash. Founders and CEOs then shared tweets about the concerning situation at the bank in private Slack channels, according to the Wall Street Journal. Yes. The first Twitter-fueled bank run, they're calling this. So this will go down in history as like, this shit happened so fast because it was Twitter. It used to be word of mouth, like, oh my God, things are collapsing. Did you read the paper? Oh my God, I read the paper. I spoke to a friend who read the paper, and it was a little slower. This shit, if there is a good old-fashioned run on the bank now that has nothing to, and look, you can't solely blame those people. Although I know they played a role. But it's the interest rates, right? Shit is tough right now. This is not a good time, right? For loans, for buyers, for sellers. You know, it's been a good time, and the good times are up, and interest rates are up. But because of these crashes, I think the Fed is going to halt any further increases in the interest rates for a second. Because they're like, okay, let's just chill for a second. It's all about like they're just putting the dick in. And then when it goes a little too far, they go, okay, pull it back a little, pull it back a little. That was a little too far of a stroke. It's like when Mr. Hands was fucking the horse. And he got the little bit, and then that deep, remember that deep stroke where he goes, oh, he makes that noise? That was the noise that indicated that that stroke killed him. Yeah. That's what they don't want. They want a little, oh, but they don't want like a full, oh. They don't want a full like that. So they're going to go, hey, we're not going to raise interest rates right now. But that's the main reason I think this is all going down, right? So it's Silicone Bank, Signature Bank, and then the more important one was Credit Suisse in Switzerland, which their whole fucking economy is based on having criminals, war criminals, generals, dictators, and fucking crooked CEOs and drug dealers hide their fucking money in Switzerland. Where they just go, we're neutral, we're Swiss, Roger Federer, eat chocolate, leave us alone. You're like, yeah, you got all crime money there because nobody asks questions. So that's their whole economy. So they can't afford to have Credit Suisse, which is one of their two big banks, collapse. So what the government did of Switzerland is they orchestrated a purchase of Credit Suisse by their former rival UBS Bank for $3.2 billion as they look to shore up the global banking system because so many, they're managing money of people all over the world. So this would have ripple effects all over the world.
Yeah, they're concerned about the contagion.
Yeah, so this is a bailout similar to 2008, and all these banks internationally, the Bank of England, Federal Reserve, all these central banks have come together to ensure that this goes smoothly. And the same thing with Signature Bank and the other bank I mentioned. What was it? Signature and the other one.
SVB, Silicone Valley Bank.
Yeah. So they orchestrated buyouts of those.
Don't sleep on J.P. Morgan. They might be behind this too.
Why do you think that? I love your conspiracy theories.
Well, because then less banks, right?
Well, it's either J.P. Morgan or the Jews.
Isn't that the same thing?
Well, I don't know. Was J.P. Morgan, was he Jewish?
Oh, hell no.
He wasn't, right?
I don't think so.
None of them. Was Charles Schwab? I know the Rockefellers are. Everyone focuses on them, but J.P. Morgan wasn't. I think he was Scottish or something, right? Oh, wait, here we go. New York's German Jewish investment bankers. Can you play Hava Nagila music over this?
This is a whole term paper.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to get into that.
The Bilderbergs, I think, were Jewish.
Spaghettios. What do? They run the world. That's all I know about the Bilderbergs.
Yeah.
They do meetings, Bilderbergs?
Oh, no, the Rothschilds. That's what it was.
The Rothschilds. Bilderbergs also sounds Jewish. Mm. The Rothschilds are a Jewish banking family. How about J.P. Morgan? Look up J.P. Morgan Jewish. That's all you got to do. Jesse just typed in Jewish bankers. So now we are being totally watched by the Mossad. You can't just type in Jewish bankers on Google and know that they're not going to trace you.
Yes, this podcast is going to be sponsored
Jesse,
by the
you're going
ADL.
to get a photo sent to you by the Mossad of you and your dick on your hand like this. And just a picture of the she-male porn you were watching like this. And they're going to go, we know, be careful. Mayer and Nathan Rothschild. J.P. Morgan. The father and son, so he was Jewish. Paul Warburg.
Oh, boy.
Julius and J.P. Morgan.
Oh, wait, so he was Jewish, J.P. Morgan?
Amando? No, let's see. The father and son.
That'll explain why the
How about you just type in, is J.P. Morgan Jewish?
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
I mean, what do you put? Yeah, is J.P. Morgan, is J.P. Morgan.
You're beating around the menorah, Jesse.
Yeah.
No easy answers.
There's no easy answers.
They're trying to bury it.
Wait, what does Quora say? Who are the Jewish banking families? Oh, let's go to Quora. Who are they? We got the Goldmans and their partners, the Sachs. We got the Lehmans. Their bank was originally partnered with 2 other Jewish families. We got the Kuhns and the Lobes and the Lazards. They're French-American. We got the Rothschilds. They were German Jews. We got the Warburgs. They were British Jews. We got the Stearns, the Wendells, and the Weinbergs. They're American, German, French, and international Jewish banking families.
We don't have enough chairs in this room to host them up at the wedding.
We also got... what does it say? The names of the latter predictably are very much waspy rather than Jewish sounding. Chase, J.P. Morgan, Kidler, Peabody, and Mellon, Merrill Lynch.
JP just stands for Jewish person.
Wait, but it didn't stop the most successful banks from climbing to the top. Where does it go? So, here's something to keep in mind. While 19th century France, Germany, and Britain had no problems doing business with Jews, in America, anti-Semitism locked the Jewish banking houses out of the business. The segregation against American Jews lasted all the way to the latter half of the 20th century, but it didn't stop the most successful banks from climbing to the top. Many corporations did business with Jewish firms like we got the Goldman Sachs or Lehman Brothers, but it was quite common for governments, utilities, and private corporations to refuse to work with Jewish-run firms or Jews to be hired by the banks they did not work for. The names of the latter predictably are very waspy. Wow, so they changed their names? Rather than Jewish sounding, Chase, J.P. Morgan, Kidder Peabody, Mellon, Merrill Lynch, First Boston Payne, Weber, Dillon, Red, and so on. It's thus pretty ironic that Goldman today is sometimes referred to as a white shoe investment bank because in the 19th and early 20th century, white shoe specifically denoted the Gentile banks preferred by Ford, Armorel, Vanderbilt, or whoever. Wow, so they're all Jewish. Sorry. We didn't want to add to this conspiracy. Well, I don't know why they'd be behind it. Why? Why would they? Oh, because they want to buy them all up?
Yeah, less banks, less competition, right? So
Right.
you have
Create a
these little-
monopoly.
Yeah,
They don't want the little guy.
yeah.
So they're basically the,
Banks make money on
they're like the
deposits.
Walmart of banks.
Right.
Right. Well, there you have it. We were trying to look into it to give evidence of how all of them are not Jewish bankers, but pretty much they all are.
Turns out they are.
Which just means they did good. Anyone could have got into the banking industry. They didn't. They were too busy doing that, you know? And also domination usually comes out of oppression. You notice that? Right? Blacks, think about this. Were blacks allowed to play baseball? Were they allowed to play football? Were they allowed to play basketball? No, they weren't. They were discriminated. What did that make blacks do?
Work harder.
Become better, and now they dominate it.
Yeah, when you get there, you got to show your ass.
Same thing the Jews did in business, in banking. Hava Nagila Hava.